Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
We one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I'm not mad at the moves that the Jaguars done made in free agency so far, but I think the Chargers probably done made the best move so far. A lot of people keep bitching. First off, what's good with it? How's it going today? You know what? I'm finna start the show, right? But I'm finishing what I was talking about. But after I get done talking about what I'm talking about, I'm starting the show a different type of way. Mind you, the show has no notes tonight, so I don't even have a bunch of notes to read off. The show going off of boom, 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 whatever pop in my head. But listen, I like the moves the Jaguars done made. Not mad at the moves at all. My three favorite moves they done made so far: adding Brandon Shreve, or Shreve, however the fuck you pronounce his last name, and adding Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk. For one, I said it on the last episode, excuse me. I'm not a fan of people, because this is the time of the year where people, fans and average individuals and motherfuckers who can't do what these dudes do, this is the time of the year where these motherfuckers get to talking about they don't deserve this, or they getting overpaid, and all that type of shit, and I hate that. Christian Kirk deserved whatever the fuck somebody was willing to pay him and whatever he was willing to negotiate and get. So, for all the bozos out there telling Christian Kirk he don't deserve to be the third highest paid receiver and all this bullshit, stop hating and get out of this man's pocket. I done seen so many comments today on Twitter, and I'm starting to realize that, I might just have to take breaks from Twitter. Because I'm telling you, man, some of the comments on these athletes' wallets, Like, I saw a fan today talk about about to talk baseball. I saw a fan today say that if Freddie Freeman's not going back to the Atlanta Braves. They just made a trade for Matt Olson, who can play out in the field, but he can also play first base, and I'm pretty sure he will be playing first base for the Braves. And they just extended him on an 8-year contract. So, Freddie Freeman, the longtime Brave, the legendary Brave, he's definitely going to another team. I'm imagining that it's probably going to be the Dodgers. I don't know why Freddie Freeman would sign for a team that has no chance of competing for a championship, even though he did just win his one title. So, I mean, you got your one title, so my man need to get the biggest payday possible. But I saw a fan say, like, the Braves, Dansby Swanson tweeted that, and if you don't know who Dansby Swanson is, he a member of the Atlanta Braves. I believe he played either second base. I think he plays second base, but he can play shortstop also. But I think his primary is second base. So Dansby Swanson tweeted that the Braves should retire Freddie Freeman's number. And I agree. Also, I'm not really mad at the Braves letting Freddie Freeman walk, because at the end of the day, I understand this is business. Like I was explaining to my sister today, because she was mad at her job. They didn't give her a promotion that she felt like she should have got, because she said, I have seniority, so I should have been here. And I was like, the company don't give a fuck about no seniority. Like, if you didn't ask them for the position and you just thought they should give it to you based off of that, then listen, you're in the wrong type of industries. I'm like, that's not how this shit works. But I understand that Freddie Freeman, an older player, they might be thinking to themselves, his best days is behind him. So they might not want to commit a huge chunk of money. Now, if you're a fan who done grew up watching Freddie, obviously you got to legitimately be a legitimate fan who love Freddie. We talked about how players touch your heart. If this is a player who you actually love, then you don't think it's a price tag on it. You think you should spend whatever he asks for. It's fans out there who feel like that. Okay? And it's weird to me when players on a team is happy for their teammates to go sign elsewhere and get big deals, but you got fans bitching and complaining about it because, they don't make my team better now. My team just got worse because they left, so fuck them for leaving my team. Like, Jesus Christ. But Dansby Swanson tweeted that they should retire Freddie Freeman's number, and a fan tweeted him and was like, or commented in a tweet and was like, nah, I don't think they should retire. I thought they should retire his number at first, but now I don't think they should retire his number because he leaving just based off of money. And I'm like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And when you continue to read the comments of other fans, it's just like, yeah, I agree, because why would he leave us just off of money? And I'm like, bro, this is the problem. I don't like it, because I had another thing where I was tweeting where they had released the numbers on Aaron Rodgers' contract or whatever. No, not Aaron Rodgers' contract. It was, who the fuck was it? It was another player whose contract had got released on Twitter. And I was like, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, the numbers that the Packers was offering him got released. And it was like he declined it. And I tweeted under it, I was like, a whole bunch of people was commenting. But and a ton of the comments was like, how much money do we want? And so my comment under it was, it wasn't enough. / the only reason this is a tweet and this was tweeted is so the goofball fans and bozo moronic ass fans, like the ones that are under this and under all these type of tweets, can tweet and comment, well, how much do we want? How much money can he possibly make? How much do we need? Like the Braves fan was like, why would Freddie leave us over money when he done made? And he legitimately was posting like numbers that he felt like Freddie had made in endorsements and shit like that. Like, do you not understand the problem in fans trying to monitor and watch pro athletes' checks, wallets? Do you not see the problem in that? Like, you don't pocket watch your employees that work with you, but you feel confident for some reason pocket watching these athletes and telling them what they deserve to make. And it's so funny to me because logical people are the ones that get drowned out in these kind of comment sections. And that's why I probably have such the problem that I have with fans, because it's a constant reminder that logic in these comment sections do not matter. Because the ignorant will always shine in these type of things, because fans are fucking ignorant. Like, I wish I could remember that Deion Sanders quote he had about fans. But the fact that you can try to say, or the fact that you say you feel like Freddie Freeman is selfish for leaving y'all for money, when for one, why don't the fucking organization pay the man what he deserves? He done been there for God knows how long. He done been a phenomenal player for God knows how long. He was a huge part in winning that World Series. He will be another huge part in winning another World Series if they get there. A perennial all-star. He will walk into the Hall of Fame. How come Freddie Freeman have to take a pay cut? How come the organization, billion-dollar organizations, don't have to pay these dudes what they are worth? Why do the players always have to take the pay cuts? And why, when shit like this happen, the players are the ones that's always made to be the victims? And listen, I already understand why. Because I heard an ignorant-ass fan say it before. I had a fan legitimately say one time, I don't care how it look, the player not going to be here forever. I'm going to always root for the organization. So I'm always going to root pro organization over over player, because the player won't be here forever. And the organization will always be here. What? Bruh, if players stop playing, matter of fact, that's not realistic. Let's say this. If your team go through a drought of getting no good players, your team will cease to exist, basically. Because they won't win anything. Nobody will care about them. They'll be a laughing stock. They'll basically be the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns is doing everything they can to try to resurrect this franchise and try to revamp this franchise. That's why you meet with Desean Watson while Baker Mayfield is still your quarterback. Because they're doing everything possible to revamp this franchise to get the stench off of them from what they used to be. So it's to me, it's no different when you got these sorry ass teams who get one good player in the organization every couple years. And then when that good player finally decide to leave to go play for a team that can actually compete, you hate that player. Bruh, you do not stay in a failing business that you do not, well, maybe some of y'all do, and that's the problem. You accept less, so you expect these players to accept less. You devalue yourself, so you expect players and athletes to devalue themselves for the team. That's what I'm saying. These motherfucking organizations and shit got y'all motherfuckers brainwashed. These organizations and these managers and shit is laughing at y'all when they beg y'all and plead with y'all to take overtime. Can you just help the organization with overtime and we'll get you back on the... No, they won't. They going home chilling. They tell you, oh, you can't call out unless you got somebody to replace you. Yeah, you can. It's their job to find somebody to replace you, not you. But because y'all done been trained and brainwashed just systematically for so long to value company over employee, which is hard to watch so many people in society value company over actual employee, people who help make the company what it is. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like when you realize that nothing could exist without the people who help make it exist. That's why I said fuck the slogan, play like a Raven. The Raven ain't hopping off the fucking helmet. It's the players who put those logos and those helmets and those uniforms on that you want, that give that meaning. So I never understand the man over the people working for. I never understand this type, because that's what you do to these athletes essentially when you tell them to take pay cuts. Bro, the billionaire owners ain't taking pay cuts, so why should they? Like it makes no sense. And when you realize, like, just sit down and just for a second, you do realize that if, like I said, if these dudes don't play for your team, as unrealistic as that may be, then your team ceased to exist. Like, I don't understand what part of that y'all don't understand. That's why it's so hard. Like, you can love a team without hating dudes who leaving the team. Mind you, you only hate players when they is like really good. Because nobody on the Braves would care about Freddie Freeman leaving if he sucked. Mind you, when a player leave and they was great, I think you should respect the player for what he did for that organization. But if he want to go leave and make more money, that motherfucker should leave and go make more money. Athletes, it don't matter what you believe and how great some of these athletes play for long periods of time. I'm one of the people, and I'm a dude who, it's amazing to me to see athletes be great on a year-to-year basis. So, like, Patrick Mahomes is amazing to me. Mookie Betts is amazing to me. Bryce Harper is amazing to me. Sidney Crosby is amazing to me. Fucking LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, those dudes is amazing to me. So many athletes. Tom Brady is amazing to me. Like, these dudes do it on every fucking year, in and out. You know they're gonna be great. Do you know how fucking hard it is to do that? When everybody is preparing for you, everybody is trying to give you their best shot, everybody is trying to take the position that you hold, and every fucking year you just come in and do it like clockwork. And it's not easy, but because of how great they are, they make it look easy. I'm amazed by that. I'm amazed by it. I'm like, when the lights is on, and I know some people are like, well, they had a game when, nah, I'm not talking about that, you bozo. You take the overall season, every year, in and out, these motherfuckers kill it. It's crazy to me. So that's just my, I'm just so fucking sick and tired of people counting these athletes' wallets, bro. Because that's another dehumanizing trait, in my opinion. And you go to most of these jobs and they try to tell you, which is not true, where they say you employees can't talk to each other about what they make. That's not true. You should talk to your employees about what you make to make sure they paying y'all fairly and shit. But they legitimately try to tell you that you shouldn't be talking about what each other make and shit like that. But y'all feel comfortable talking about what these athletes make just because they post it. Not they post it, just because insiders and shit like that post their contracts. Do you think that most of these athletes, now, mind you, it is a benefit that these contracts get posted for them, because it can tell them how much more they can make in the area of which they can look to be searching for the numbers they looking for on contracts and shit like that. That's why every time a quarterback sign a contract, the next quarterback sign a bigger one, and then the next one sign a bigger one. So that is the benefit of their contracts being out. But do you think if these insiders were not allowed to post their contracts and the numbers and shit, do you think that the athletes would post the numbers they make by them, like, on social media? I'm pretty sure they talk to each other about it so they could still make big know where to hit what range and price range to be in and shit when they negotiating their contracts. And when you got agents, those agents will be talking to each other and shit too, I'm pretty sure, to see, or just, talking with guys, seeing what they making and shit like that. But do you think the athletes would post it to let you motherfuckers know what they was making and shit like that? Because I don't. But because they are athletes and they signed up for this, you get to know what these motherfuckers make. And because you do, you think you can judge them and shit like that based off of what they make. And I just don't feel the same. I think you motherfuckers need to learn to tend to your own wallets. Christian Kirk deserved what he just got paid, and I truly believe he is going to prove it. For one, I think Christian Kirk is better than every receiver that they just had. Yep, including DJ Chark, who just signed with another team. I think Christian Kirk was kind of held back and lost in the sauce at times in Arizona because you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Larry Fitzgerald. He was young when they had Larry Fitzgerald too, so you're not giving him, I know some people say, well, Justin, every time I hear people take shots at receivers for not blowing up fast, the example they always use is like Justin Jefferson or now Jamar Chase. But you got to understand, it's not rare that receivers come in now and immediately is good, but it's rare that they put up crazy seasons like Jamar Chase and fucking Justin Jefferson just did. So that should not be the standard. Like a rookie receiver coming up putting up them 2 seasons should not be the standard. I think Christian Kirk is a good receiver, and I think his playing with Doug Peterson, an offensive-minded head coach, and he got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to be as good as he done ever been in his career, because I think he's going to end up being a number 1 receiver. He's going to grow into a number 1 receiver definitely over there. I also like the addition of Evan Ingram, because Evan Ingram was projected to be a great tight end when he came into the league. Now, Evan Ingram do drop passes here and there. I have seen the highlights of that. But I think the problem with Evan Ingram is not just Evan Ingram. I think the problem in Evan Ingram is that offense in New York. The offense he done played in New York has not been conducive. I understand y'all want players to just be able to get onto the field and be great off rip. But what y'all got to understand is some of these systems and some of these coaches and some of the quarterbacks and all this shit, when you mix it together, just is not conducive to greatness. If you make excuses for all these other quarterbacks and shit when they not good, well, you got to be able to do that same thing for other players and positional players. Evan Ingram is playing with Daniel Jones, who I just do not think is a good quarterback. People keep trying to convince me that he is, but I done seen Daniel Jones games. I done seen full Daniel Jones games. I'm not saying the man can't throw the football, but what I am saying is the fact that y'all think just because a dude can throw a football makes him a good quarterback with promise is wild to me. Because I done said it multiple times. Being a great quarterback is not just about being able to throw the ball 80 yards down the field or hit 80-something plus yard or 60, 50-plus yard out routes and shit. Being able to dice it over receivers, over cornerback. No, that's just not the part about being a great quarterback. There's other parts of being a great quarterback. And Danny Dimes is Danny turnovers. The motherfucker turned the ball over way too much. To me, Daniel Jones reminds me a lot of Sam Darnold. Like when I watch Daniel Jones, I see a lot of Sam Darnold. When I watch Sam Darnold, I see a lot of Daniel Jones. Those are the two quarterbacks that remind me of each other. That's why I say when I watch Baker Mayfield, I see a lot of Jared Goff. What's wild is I see a lot of Matthew Stafford in both of them motherfuckers too. But Matthew Stafford is just more talented than both of them. Because I was looking at a list that people was putting up today with like a lot of turnover. I think it was on that Speak For Yourself show, which I'm starting not to watch too much because, a lot of them conversations done been real brain squeezing. in the sense of like, wow, what the fuck? Why the fuck am I listening to this right now? But Justin Herbert, they were showing basically he throw a lot of picks basically, and Matthew Stafford was on the list on every slide too. So, you know, Matthew Stafford to me is just more talented than them other two, but he remind me of them too. Like, but Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, oh my God, it's like watching. I do think Jared, I don't know which one of them, because it's an any given day type shit, but them two motherfuckers is like identical twins to me on most days. Dead ass. But I like the fucking moves that the Jags done made. I think these moves, because for one, like I said, Daniel Jones is what he is to me. I don't understand how people keep thinking this dude is a great quarterback or a quarterback with promise. I really believe that the Giants should have tried to push hard for one of these quarterbacks, and they're going to be looking for one in the draft eventually. But Evan Ingram, to me, was a player they let go for the simple reason he didn't pop with what we had, and eventually we're going to be starting over anyways. I'm surprised they extended Sterling Shepard, to be honest with you. I think they still going to try to move on from Saquon Barkley eventually. Like, if Saquon popped this year, it's so hard to know, because if Saquon popped this year, I understand people saying, oh, well, they could bring him back. I truly believe if he popped this year, that's when you say, now let's trade him. His value is as high as it's done been since he done came into the league, basically. If he can get through a full season next year or play the majority of a season and have a 1,000-yard season, go crazy in the passing game, I really think you consider moving on from him and trading him for value if you cannot get a top-flight quarterback in the draft that year. Because the reality is, Saquon can have a great year and the Giants can still fucking suck. So, this ain't one of them situations where if Saquon ball out, then the Giants won't be in position to have a good draft pick. No, Saquon can ball out and the motherfucking team can still absolutely suck. Which, I think they might still, playing and being in that. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They probably still gonna suck. I wonder if they'll finally break that trend and not starting being at over 500 at no point in time over the last 5 years. I wonder what that was. This be the 6th year and going. Because the Giants, to me, right now, not better than. Like, I understand. I'm definitely not one of them people who gonna get on here and try to convince you that Carson Wentz is a great quarterback. Like I said, people to me seem to be equating great quarterback to he can make throws, and when Carson Wentz is hot, he is very athletic. He make big. Yeah, but the problem is when you keep hitting me with that when he is hot. Bruh, inconsistent. That is the problem. A part of being a great quarterback is being consistent. I know y'all like to nitpick at Lamar Jackson and act as if he ain't consistent, but he is. I know y'all like to nitpick at other quarterbacks that are consistent, that might have that y'all like to try to say is inconsistent, that really ain't. But this man right here, along with fucking Baker Mayfield, inconsistent. Another thing, before I keep going, because I want to address something, bro. I like Desean Watson. I love Desean Watson. He was really my favorite quarterback when he was in college and when he was coming out of college. I told you, I don't like college football. I watched Desean Watson's entire career at Clemson. Now, he not my favorite quarterback no more because Lamar Jackson is my guy. But I'm pretty sure when he starts playing again, he'll move right back to my second favorite quarterback in the NFL over Josh Allen. As much as I like Desean Watson, he only 2 games over 500 in his career. People acting as if he had just trash can teams in Houston, and that just ain't the case. They did trade away his number 1 receiver, Desean, and they did bring over, he didn't really have a running game. I done seen quarterbacks be better with less. Not to mention, he put up big numbers that year. They just didn't lead to winning because he didn't affect, his numbers as big and as great as they were did not affect winning. Mind you, when you only 2 games over 500, listen, I'm not trying to shit on Desean. I'm not trying to shade Desean. But what I am saying is this narrative that Desean Watson go to a team and immediately they're a Super Bowl contender, I do not agree with that. If you got a lot of pieces in place, like I think if Desean Watson go to New Orleans, because New Orleans is really the only spot out of all the teams they talking about, because I heard the Falcons was involved now today too. Out of the 3 teams that is so far that they done mentioned, and I even heard the Browns was involved today. Out of every one of those teams, the only team to me that if he go to right now, and if they can keep their key pieces that are a Super Bowl contending team, if you add him right now, is New Orleans. And that's only if they can keep Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and those key pieces on defense. Mind you, they already lost a key piece on defense in Marcus and Williams, the safety. He signed with Baltimore, so shout out. And this is what I'm saying. Nah, I'm not gonna get sidetracked. So, but they did replace him because they got Marcus May from the Jets, and he is a good safety. I don't think he's better than Williams, but he is a great safety who played for a bad team, so people didn't really look at him or pay attention to him. But he is you getting a great player, New Orleans, especially when you put him in that system. Like I saw somebody tweet, how the fuck do you make Dennis Allen the head coach and then you immediately let one of his best players on defense walk? I agree with that. But they replaced him with a pretty good fucking safety in Marcus May. And while I think obviously Williams you would say is the better one because of age and growth and all that type of, I mean, the motherfucker is already a Pro Bowl safety right now. And the motherfucker's only like 25, I believe. So he got a lot of years left to grow. And I think the contract, they say he sounds like a 7-year contract. I got to go check it. Don't quote me on that one. I might be tripping. But that's a great signing for the Ravens. And this is what I'm saying when I was telling people, bro, it's not necessarily that safety wasn't a priority in my mind. Signing Tyrann Mathieu should not have been a priority in my mind. When you make a signing like matter of fact, I was hearing that the Ravens didn't even think they had a shot at getting Williams. When you have a player like Williams that is willing to come to your team, okay, then you can say, okay, we sign him. Because it's not that I don't think Tyrann Mathieu is a great player. I do. But when you look at his age and how safeties usually slow down starting to get into that age, and the fact that I think Tyrann is a great all-around defender, but I do think he can be had in coverage at times. He's great in coverage, but he can be had in coverage at times. And you can even get him sometimes when he come up to make a tackle. You can get him with bigger players here and there. But just off of, age, he got hurt a little bit last year, I believe. I think he's a great player, and I think he got a lot of good years left in him. But I don't think you would have had to pay him if you Baltimore, or just allocating money to him based off of other needs would have been worth it. When you sign Williams, who was 25, I believe, with so much potential already and so much talent, proven talent already, it's because Williams done basically been a stud since he done stepped into the league. I know a lot of people like to show his worst play of his career in that playoff game. But one play don't make your career. And when you look at every play after and before that, this dude is a fucking stud. So the Baltimore Ravens definitely got a Pro Bowl, all-pro level safety to pair up with Chuck Clark, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. Now that is a good fucking secondary. And I'm telling you, Marcus Williams is going to make a big difference early. You're going to see it. See, I didn't think that the Ravens had a chance to get into Marcus Williams. You got all these Raven fans on Twitter who don't watch other teams. They only watch Baltimore. So they don't really know how great other dudes are unless they just big names. Marcus Williams, to me, he a big name because I know how great he done been since he done been in the NFL. But to a lot of people, he not a big name until you got big names telling you he big names. So you had a lot of these Baltimore fans who posting pictures of Bobby Wagner. And mind you, they posting pictures of Wagner and Tyrann Mathieu in Ray Lewis and Ed Reed's jerseys. Bruh, y'all cannot be this bad at Photoshop, bruh. I know y'all not this bad at Photoshop. Either way, in my mind, For one, I thought the Ravens was going to sign who the Saints just signed, Marcus May. I thought that's who we was going to sign. I did not think we was going to end up signing Williams. That's why I never even brought Williams up, because I didn't think that we had a shot at signing him because of how great I know he was, and I thought he was going to demand, like, I'm be honest, I thought he was going to be the highest paid safety on the market. I thought he was going to make more than, I thought he was going to be one of the highest paid players out of free agency because of his age and how great he already is. I thought he was going to walk away with one of the biggest contracts in free agency. I should have known that this was one of the type of players that Baltimore was going to actually spend money on. I wish they would go fucking sign Bobby Wagner now and then extend Lamar, because I could care less about all the moves after that. The two big moves that will drastically change this team is Marcus Williams, and I pray I'm not getting my man's first name wrong, but Williams, Wagner, re-sign Lamar. Those are drastically help this team. And if you can find a way to go trade for a good receiver, a big-time number one, I would do that too. I don't know why you don't go make a trade for Amari Cooper when it only costs these motherfuckers, a 5th-round pick. This is what I'm saying when I say Baltimore don't even be fit. It feel like Baltimore don't even try to help their quarterbacks, yo. Like, look at how they swung for the fences for defense. It happened all the time. Baltimore always swing for the fences on defense. They do not try to swing for the fences on offense, bro. I do not care what y'all say. If they swing for the fences, that's going in. I don't care how people feel about Amari Cooper, for one. Amari Cooper is a better receiver than everybody Baltimore got on their team right now. And it's not close. Unless, Bateman blow us away this year. But Amari Cooper currently constructed, in my opinion, is, I don't care that Hollywood, I'm not calling him that. I don't care that Marquise just put up 1,000-yard season. I do not think if you giving me a decision, him or Amari, I'm taking Amari Cooper every single day of the fucking week over Marquise. And that's not a shot at Marquise. I like Marquise. But I think one of the problems with Baltimore's offense is Marquise is not an outside receiver, even though he is an outside receiver. It's pretty weird, because I don't even think he run slot receiver like routes and shit. And I actually think if they moved him to slot receiver, that would actually probably lead to more drops. Because when you look at how many drops he have playing outside, when it's not even contested drops, that's one of the biggest problems I have with Marquise Brown. Uncontested drops, bro. Like, where you just by yourself drop. Like, the fucking Lions game is a perfect example. Motherfucker had like 4 uncontested drop passes, and like 2 of them was touchdowns. So then you look at his uncontested drops where nobody is around him and he just dropping them. And then you look at his contested drops where he still should make that catch if he the receiver that he say he is, and that everybody can't keep claiming he is, then he make them type of catches. And he didn't. Sammy Watkins had a lot of drop catches from what I was. And that's why I say I don't like Pro Football Focus, because I'm confused on how Pro Football Focus rate drops and shit. Because I'm watching these dudes drop passes on a regular basis at the end of the season. It's like, oh, they only had 2 drops. What? Like, what are we considering drops? I got so irritated at certain points this year, and I didn't even vocalize it about Marquise until late in the season. The game against the Colts, Marquise had a route where he ran an out route, right? And everybody was making it seem like, and I even got on Andrews about something like this in the season, because I'm always getting on Andrews, I feel like. Just the lack of faith that I had growing in me, because I don't have a lack of faith in Mark Andrews. I know Andrews can be a top dude in the league for a long time. That's why I expect so much out of him. That's why I always say you got to make those clutch catches, bro. You can't just be great when it in all these other times when it don't matter and shit. We can't just be front runners. You got to be great in them key moments and shit when it mattered the most. That's why I'm so hard on Mark Andrews, because I can see the greatness in him. Over the years, I kind of just, been floating in and out of it with Marquise Brown. He make a big play here and there, and then, he just followed up by a lot of disappearing acts, big bad plays, and things like that. And when I look at him, I think to myself, the only reason he got his, for one, you pick up the option anyway, because he's not a scrub. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I just don't think he's a number one receiver. And I don't really, for one, his height, he not big enough to me. And then it'd be different if he was like Tyreek Hill, but I don't think he run routes as good as Tyreek Hill. Nowhere near as good as Tyreek Hill. I don't think he create the separation that because being able to be a great route runner is one of the ways you can create separation like Tyreek Hill do. I mean, and this is going to sound just absolutely crazy. Travis Kelce is a better route runner than Marquise Brown. Now, Travis Kelce is a better route runner than a lot of dudes. But Marquise Brown is a receiver and a speedster at that. So you would expect that he could get in and out of some of these cuts. But what you learn is speedster don't necessarily mean great technical technicians and route runners and shit. And one of the biggest problems is when a defense can just throw somebody on the top of Marquise Brown and take him out of games. When the only way, because Greg Roman not going to call up no plays to try to get the man involved. But then when the only ways to try to get the man involved is to try to give him deep routes because he keep dropping everything else, so he not getting open on the short routes and shit like that. So I really think they should probably move on from Marquise Brown. I think he would be better on a team with a veteran quarterback who just need like a third option. Like I think Marquise Brown would be great with Green Bay. Not because anything Lamar can't do, just because I don't think Baltimore's offense is in a place where it need Marquise. Whereas Green Bay could benefit mightily from a Marquise Brown. See, that's what I think Green Bay should have did. They should have traded Zadarius Smith for Marquise Brown. That's what they should have tried to do. They should have called up Baltimore and was like, y'all motherfuckers need a pass rusher. We need a receiver. Marquise Brown is inexpensive. He is a speedster who can take the top off of a defense. He would complement Devontae Adams mightily. He is a better speedster than Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I've been seeing people say like they gonna. I saw a Packer fan call into Pat McAfee's show basically saying that Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a big piece of the offense, and I'm like, bro, have you been watching Packer games, bro? You don't see the drop passes, the bad route running, the plethora of things that Marquez Valdez-Scantling do wrong. You don't what? Like if he didn't have multiple years to become a solid, legit number 2 receiver. Has not done it. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm looking at this Packers offense. It is not one, outside of Devontae Adams, there is not one difference maker on this team. And outside of the running backs, I'm just talking about the receiving positions, the receiver and tight end. None of these dudes, to me, are in any way, shape, form scary defense. And as long as that is your entirety of your like, you would be confident putting your 3rd to 4th best cornerback on their 2nd best receiver. When you can do that, it's damn near impossible to win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. That's why they keep getting stopped. It don't matter how many interceptions Tom Brady throw in that game. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams can't get loose on the defense that, for one, can blow up this offensive line. 2, nobody on this team can get open because nobody's good enough, obviously. I mean, listen, people can say what they want to. They can make all the excuses. They can blame Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, can you beat your man? Motherfuckers on the Packers throughout the season have these times where here and there they beat their man. Every single one of them have one game a season where they go crazy. None of them, aside from Devontae Adams, I'm saying, put together a string of games where they balling out. So when the playoff time come around, Aaron Rodgers, it's not that he just can't rely on none of them, because it ain't just a matter of, he just don't rely on them. Motherfucker, they done proven to him that he can't rely on them. So, to me, the Packers should have called Baltimore and said, before we release Zadarius Smith, how about we trade him for Marquise Brown? That's what I think they should have did. Baltimore's receiving problems is far bigger. Now, maybe Marquise Brown come out and have a crazy year this year. But where he was drafted in the draft, and I'm not saying Marquise Brown is a bad receiver. Like I said, it's all about situation, where he is at. What situation is he in? In Green Bay, you would get more value out of him than what we getting out of him right now because we got him masquerading around as a number 1 receiver. The motherfucker is mad when he don't get as many targets as Mark Andrews, but it makes no logical sense to throw the ball to Marquise Brown more than you throw it to Mark Andrews. And I realized that throughout the season because I'm a component of trying to get the receiver the ball. But if you watch the Ravens games throughout the year, early in the season, Marquise looked great. In the back end of the season, he just trailed off. He got to the 1,000 yards because of how great the beginning of the season started. But if you started to look at that Detroit game on, it was very evident or very easy to understand why you would not throw him the ball nowhere near as much as you throw it to Mark Andrews. Because he just was, and Mark Andrews even had drops in that game. But he just wasn't reliable. And it become a game of if you cannot rely, and because obviously Lamar going to try everything in his power to rely on and not lose faith in Marquise Brown because that's his dude off the field. But even it was games this season where you could just see Lamar look away from him eventually and lose faith in him. Just naturally, that's what a quarterback doing when you're trying to win. It is what it is. You can only hold it in even if that's your boy for so long. And maybe he didn't verbalize it. But how he started to play on the field in certain games showed that he had lost faith in him. So, because I do not think... And also, Marquise Brown being on the field to me don't really serve a purpose for Bates. Like, he don't take pressure off of Bates. He don't make Bates any less great at the moment. So I think you can afford to lose him and flip him for a better pick or a better player or a more needed a player that you need. Like we just signed Morgan Moses, great signing. He played with Washington for a long time. Now, I'm not saying he like the greatest, offensive line of all time, but he is a great run blocker. I do wish he was a bit better at the pass game. At pass blocking, which I think he'll be good at. He gonna be better than what we had. Let me put it like that. So that's a great signing. Now, I said he was with Washington for the longest, but he did play with the Jets. I think the last 2 years he done been with the Jets. I could be confused. Maybe it was just one. Nonetheless, he going to look real good in that black and purple. These is two great signings by the Ravens. I still want Bobby Wagner in that Lamar Jackson extension. But I really do think Green Bay need to look into making a trade. If not for Marquise, for one, Marquise wouldn't cost you nothing, really, and you already over the cap and shit. And I understand the cap ain't shit. Motherfuckers gonna find ways to, get what they need and want. But I think Marquise Brown will look. See, you got him masquerading around as a number one receiver. And that sounds so disrespectful, but it is what it is. He not a number one receiver, but you got him masquerading around as one in Baltimore. You put him in Green Bay, and he instantly gonna be the number 2 receiver. And he gonna look way better. I'm talking. He could put up a Juju Smith-Schuster type of year when he had AB. That's how good I think he could be if he was in Green Bay with Devontae Adams and And then in that case, then you could just have a Robert Tonyan running tight end. Even though I think Green Bay needed. I don't know why Green Bay keeps striking out with these fucking tight ends. But boy, sheesh. I think Robert Tonyan a free agent, and they'll probably bring him back because he'd probably be inexpensive. But if Green Bay's offense going to the season like this, the way it's looking right now, yeah, it's going to be the same end result as last season. They'll get knocked out. I'm not saying it'll be a first-round playoff exit, but it will not be a Super Bowl journey. They won't be making it to the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that. Not with this receiving core. No. And with running backs getting older and now, the thing with the Packers is they have A.J. Dillon. So, you're not really worried about Aaron Jones slowing down because if he do slow down, you have A.J. Dillon behind him. So, the running game should be fine. But, this offense to me is just, it's not. And I see that they could be in play for Jarvis Landry. I saw a report that said they could possibly be in play for Jarvis Landry. Then I saw a report that said they wasn't in play for him. So don't know what's going on with that one. But if they do sign Jarvis Landry, that would be a good sign. And also to play off of, bro, any type of receiver like that could play great off of Devontae. Really, anybody can play great off of Devontae Adams. But you don't want to bring in another non-name player at all. You want to bring in a receiver that's done at least put together a few decent to great seasons. Like, What they got right now just ain't it. I'm just being completely honest with you. What they have right now ain't it. Boy, them days of Jordy Nelson and the crew, boy. Boy, they seem so long ago. Yo, brother Kyrie dropped 60 points tonight. Karl Anthony Towns dropped 60 yesterday night, I believe. My mama's birthday tonight, so shout out Kyrie, brother Kyrie dropping 60 on my mom's birthday. I saw a report, an alert came through on my phone. It was like Kyrie got 41 at the half. As soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw it, I was like, sheesh. I was like, now go get 41, do it again. Because I wanted them to pop 81. Kobe would have been in heaven smiling on that one, if you believe in that type of thing. He would have been like, my boy. Would Kobe be happier than any player in the NBA popping that 81 with him than Kyrie? Now, selfishly, I wouldn't mind seeing Steph Curry drop that 81. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to pass it. Matter of fact, out of respect for Kobe, none of them motherfuckers better pass it. Now, some people be like, hey, fuck this conversation for a quick second. Nah, fuck Kobe. Just fuck. Matter of fact, pause this conversation. I just got to hop to another one. All these analysts who getting on TV, these sports analysts getting on TV talking about, oh, LeBron should sit out the rest of the season. He should just, take a rest for the rest. Bro, you do know you just basically just saying he should quit, right? Like, what is up with this losing ass mentality, bro? What's up with ESPN and Fox letting motherfuckers get on TV and basically promote quitting? And then you already know at some point in time down the line, the same analyst that's telling LeBron to quit will be the same analyst that hold it against him if he did. Like, bro, it's crazy. Sports media is wild, man. And I'm gonna tell you something else, man. The Eastern Conference team's real fucking lucky that this damn mandate is in play. It don't make no fucking sense to me that Kyrie, like, they just fined the Nets, I think it was $50K for him being in the locker. So he can be in the locker room tonight when they're not in Brooklyn. But when they're in Brooklyn, he can't. I mean, the shit's just absolutely insane. But, yeah, they got to figure that shit out. I hope they figure that shit out. Because, boy, until they do, these Eastern Conference teams getting off on one right now. They saw Kyrie put up that 60 tonight and was like, thank God this motherfucker cannot play in Barclays. I mean, that's absolutely insane. That motherfucker just did that shit on the road. Imagine what this motherfucker doing in the crib. This crazy. If I'm Kyrie, if this mandate's still in play over the summertime, I mean, I got to get a trade. I'm interested to see what happened with this Nets team in the summertime. Like, what Kyrie do, what KD do. Ben Simmons ain't going nowhere. But what KD and Kyrie do gonna be very interesting to me. Because I don't know why Kyrie would stick around if he gonna have to put up with another year of dealing with this fucking mandate. And I don't know why KD would stick around if Kyrie don't stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ben Simmons is a great player to me, but I ain't sticking around if I'm KD just to play with no damn Ben Simmons. And there's no shot at Ben Simmons, but nah, I'm not sticking around just to play with Ben Simmons. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm KD, I'm taking my black ass right back to Golden State. Now, I'm biased, but I'm taking my ass right back to Golden State. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw a real wrench in y'all motherfucking plans. If I'm KD, I'm headed to Milwaukee to play with motherfucking Giannis Antetokounmpo. Nah, KD ain't doing that shit. But I would go back to, we think KD retiring in Brooklyn? Because I don't see it right now. They just don't feel steady and stable enough. Now, maybe the mandate get dropped and then everybody re-back up and, then they become steady and then, there's something we can grow, They can have team dinners around the Christmas time and shit like that. But right now, they just don't feel like a unit, like steady enough. Just a lot of talent. One thing I will say is, the one thing that kind of scared me for Brooklyn, not about Brooklyn, is teams that come in healthy with they snipers and they shooters and they top players prepared, and they run a system. Because Brooklyn do not seem to run a system. It seemed to be Kyrie turn, KD turn. And that's the worst version of KD in my opinion. Like, as great of numbers wise as KD can put up when he play that way, like he did in OKC, to me he even better when you can throw him in a system. And it's a system going on that he play within. Because KD can still go nuts in a system. He proved that in Golden State. Now, I understand your system not going to have Clay, Dre, Curry. But you got but you have Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant, Andre Drummond. Like, you got pieces to put a system in place so that you don't have to just rely on them playing hero ball all the time, basically, or street ball. So I do worry about that when it comes. Plus, Brooklyn don't defend nobody right now. Like, they not the best of defensive teams. And there's some teams in the East that can turn it up defensively, in my opinion. Milwaukee, Miami. So, even though, and plus I saw a report today that said Ben Simmons might not even play the rest of the season. If Ben Simmons don't play at all this season, it's hard for me to take Brooklyn because of that mandate. Man, if that happened, if the mandate ain't dropped and Ben don't play, I gotta ride with Milwaukee. Got to. Because as great as Giannis is, as great as Joel Embiid is to me, as great as he is individually, and as great a scorer as James Harden is when nothing on the line, Giannis done been there, done that, as has those Milwaukee Bucks. So they're going to be able to reach down. I really think this could end up being a James Harden situation where he lose to a greater player again. Like, he could possibly get to the conference finals or the conference championships, whatever the fuck it's called, and I could legitimately see them losing to the better player legacy-wise again in Giannis. I feel like a lot of people sleeping on Giannis and them boys right now. Like, everybody talking about Philly and the Bucks, but Milwaukee's still my pick to get to the finals. The only thing that would change that pick is if Ben Simmons come back healthy. That's it. And if they drop the mandate. But if they don't drop the mandate, it's kind of hard still for me to pick Milwaukee for the simple reason Ben Simmons and KD could go crazy and have Seth Curry go crazy and others go crazy at home to make up for Kyrie not being there and win those games. And then when you get to Milwaukee in that game 7, you have Kyrie there in those Milwaukee games. So that make a series very strange. Like, if Brooklyn could take one game at home, it's crazy because usually it's like if you could take a game on the road. If Brooklyn played road games the way but a team usually play home games, right? Because it's going to be different because they're going to have Kyrie on road games but not at home. So if they could snag a home game, right, to me that changed the entire series. Because everybody I feel like would be expecting Brooklyn to lose home games if they go up against certain teams without Kyrie. Like, I think you would pick Philadelphia. I think you would pick all the top teams in the Eastern Conference in Brooklyn to beat Brooklyn if they don't have Kyrie. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe KD is so great y'all would pick against those teams. But I'm almost certain that I'm taking Philadelphia and Milwaukee, possibly Miami. Yeah, I think I'm taking all them teams if they went to Brooklyn to play and Kyrie in on the floor. As great as I know, and Milwaukee, obviously, as great as KD is. But then when you go on the road, I'm like, well, I just saw KD and them boys win, in Philly the other night. Spanked them. To me, I don't think KD and Kyrie and them scared to go into nobody's team and win. Just like Draymond said, second seed, we want it, but we ain't finna do nothing stupid trying to chase that down. We don't care if we the 2 seed, 3 seed, we winning the championship. Facts. I co-sign that. Golden State Warriors winning the championship this year, baby. Steph Curry getting number 4. And I really could care less who they go up against in the finals this year. I don't care if it's Antetokounmpo. I don't give a fuck if it's I would actually love for it to be Brooklyn. That's who I want them to go up against in the finals, is Brooklyn. My soul. Now listen, I do understand if they go up against Brooklyn in the finals and beat Brooklyn, there is no fucking shot in hell that KD will ever sign with the Golden State Warriors ever again. I understand that just ain't happening if they beat Brooklyn. But my love for Curry outweighs my want for him to play. Because if Curry win without KD, which he already done did it, but if he do it, when he do it, ain't no if. When he do it again, like I still would want KD to come there, but I just know it ain't gonna happen. And I'm not finna say I want KD to come there so bad that I would want Curry not to win. Nah, fuck that. Because if KD win a championship and it's against Curry in the finals, then nah, KD can't come to Golden State, buddy. You got to keep your ass in Brooklyn. We got to get you there again so we can beat your ass in the finals, bro. Like I said, that's why Brady had to come back so he could go to the Super Bowl and lose to Lamar. Randy Gregory had re-signed with the Cowboys 5 years, $70 million. And then he said, fuck the Cowboys. I'm out of here. And he went to Denver. Which is a better move in my opinion, because even though you was in a more winnable division playing with the Cowboys, you're playing with a better quarterback in Denver. So you always got a better chance, in my opinion, when you're playing with a better quarterback. Now, I heard, or at least from what Ian Rappaport was saying on the Pat McAfee show, the reason that this whole shit happened was because some language they was putting in the contract after the fact that Randy Gregory and his agent was like, yeah, I'm not a child, motherfucker. I'm out of here. I respect that. Now, I hear a lot of people saying, well, the Cowboys looked out for Randy Gregory and this and that. Yeah, whatever. There's just few things you can say to me that's going to make me not take a player's side. It's just very few, especially the type of shit that I was saying today. But you know what, bro? I want to pause for a second, and I want to talk about something else. Because we wasn't really getting to the end of the show, but I am finna get to the end of the show because I actually do want to talk about something real fast. And this is very important because I saw, it's kind of a twofold thing, man. And I don't really talk about stuff like this, but we got to start talking about stuff like this. Just pay attention to me. Rock with me, bro. Don't get weird on me, bro. Just rock with me for a second. We got to learn as humans to take time out of our day, out of the schedule, at some point in time, to appreciate the people who appreciate us, to show love to the people who show love to us, to rock with the people who done rocked with us. I realize, and I just go ahead and let you know, disclaimer, this is a very hypocritical statement coming from me because I am notorious for not checking up on people. Bro, I don't check up on family. I don't check up on my best friend. I done got to the situation where I expect everybody who cool with me to understand that my distance isn't necessarily a sign of I don't fuck with you. It's just how I am, and you gotta accept that. And if you fuck with me, you gonna have to accept. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that, because what I'm starting to realize is people need people. So one of the biggest reasons I stopped getting on Facebook when I first went to college, because I realized, for one, I already had hated Facebook, because one of my biggest problem with Facebook was I hated seeing people post statuses about their personal life. Everything they was going through, they posted on Facebook. And I got to the point where I'm just like, yo, why the fuck do y'all do this? Like, why do y'all post y'all personal issues and problems and shit in life on Facebook like it's gonna get solved on here or something like that? Like, all people gonna do is laugh and shit. That was the cynic in me. And then I done come to realize over the years, while I still don't necessarily agree with posts, because I'm not the type of person who's going to post my personal life on social medias and stuff like that. I prefer to let private life be private. I do realize now, as I done got older, however, people need people. And so while I don't agree with posting, personal things on, because I just understand that it's cynical people out there. And maybe I'm one of them. Now, I don't laugh and, comment on the people, who cares, and shit like that on the status. But I just look at it and think to myself, man, I know the number of people who don't care and who got something negative to say. But then you read the comments of all the people who say, I'm here for you. I got you if you need me. Call me. Talk to me. People you probably haven't even heard in a long time. As soon as you post that public plea or cry for help, because I think I'm starting to realize that's what it is. It's not necessarily people posting their private life for attention. Necessarily. It is some people who post just for attention. But I'm starting to realize this type of shit is people posting not for attention, but for help. For a companion, for a friend, for somebody to care about their problems. And so that led me to realize when you fuck with somebody, when you cool with somebody, when you rock with somebody, let them know. It don't take nothing to let people know. And like I said, very hypocritical for this statement to be coming from me. But I'm trying to work on that shit too. So we can all work on that shit. Because I realize people need people. We need each other to get through this crazy ass life. And it's nothing wrong with encouraging people, giving some people, a pep in their step on a daily basis. That's why I tell you to tell people that you fuck with them, that you love them, to have a dope day. Well, I can't get on here and keep telling y'all that shit and not following my own advice. You dig what I'm saying? I can't get on here and tell y'all that shit and then don't look at it as, well, you should be checking up on people in the same breath. You should be letting people know that they is important to you. Because I understand that you shouldn't get a trophy for being a good human being and shit like that. But maybe sometimes you should. Maybe sometimes you shouldn't just have to do something out of this world awesome to be rewarded. Maybe you should just be rewarded for being a great, dope ass human being. And you should let people know that. You should let people know you fuck with them and that you love them and that they are important to you. And that they are not a waste of breath or anything like that. And that, listen, you shouldn't be friends with nobody if you ain't willing to sit down and listen to that person. If you don't care about that person's issues, save that person the time, the heartache, and the future problems by just going ahead and disappearing out of their life. They will be bothered at first, but in the long run, they will thank you. Because then you open up a spot for somebody who will care about their personal issues and shit like that, who will check up on them on a regular basis. That's what I had to realize. For so long, I was mad in my mind. I was like, if my best friend ever replaced me just because we don't talk every day like we used to, I'll be pissed off. How could I be pissed off about that? If somebody else come into her life who is actually going to fulfill that best friend role, who's going to check up on her when she need to be checked up on, who's going to talk to her when she wants somebody to talk to, when she don't want to just talk to her boyfriend, and when she getting tired of dealing, like her son is my godson. Haven't checked up on him in probably a year, 2 years probably. I can't do that. We can't do that. We got to be better. We got to be better because, like I said, people need people. Humans rely on humans to get us through this crazy ass life, man. Dead ass. So, check up on somebody, man. Check up on somebody you fuck with, man. Let somebody know they doing a great job in life, man. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them, man. Tell somebody to have a dope fucking day. And you have a dope fucking day, man. I fuck with y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Share the shit. I ain't talking about like, hey, man, go shit. No, I'm talking about like spread it. Word of mouth. Tell people, yo, man, I listen to this dude, man. He pretty dope. And then we gonna grow together, you dig? But dead ass, tell somebody you fuck with him, tell somebody you love him, man. Tell somebody to have a dope fucking day. And just sit down and conversate with somebody for a while, you know what I'm saying? I don't really call people a lot. I'm not really a big caller, not really a big FaceTimer. Go do that. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody know you appreciate them, man. Saint out.
I wrote a poem called True Love, and it's touched a lot of people's hearts, and it's just about simplicity of life, and it goes like this. Take life as it comes, friends. Leave well enough alone. Keep a smile in your heart. You could turn any house into a home. The bad times will surely come. That's up to you when they go. And the good times will flourish as long as true love flows. So just let true love flow, friends. See the world with a positive view. Surround yourself with good friends, and the world will change around you. Make a habit of giving. Help where you can. Give food to the hungry, but give your heart to a friend. Now, true love, it's not that easy to find. It only comes when you can say it's ours instead of mine. For sharing your blessings with the people you love will light up your life like the moonlight from above. Now, forgiveness is the key to love, this I know. And a heart full of vanity has no way to grow. So wrap your arms around those loved ones around, for that's the place that true love is found. And I think that's what every human being is looking for, is true love in their life somewhere.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white outs. We gon' bump this shit real deep into the night hours. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zoloft? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was